Inside the ManCave with Johnny Compian.
Oh, yeah. Hey, put your finger in my fun hole. It's beautiful.
Graphic language will be used throughout this show.
You have 10 seconds.
We are enjoying lots of sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Now we ready to roll.
Inside the ManCave with Johnny Compian.
Game over, bitches.
Welcome to hell. Prepare for your first beating.
Inside the ManCave podcast show. Follow me at Johnny Compian on Twitter. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Inside the ManCave podcast show, and follow me on IG, Facebook, Meta, and TikTok. It's so good to be back in the ManCave with lots to bring you this week. And first off, I want to thank and welcome my new subscribers on YouTube. I'm up to 32. I mean, can you believe this? I started at 4 a few months back. So yeah, I really appreciate the new people subscribing to the channel, and I hope that I can entertain you a little bit and bring you something different that you're seeing on YouTube. Yeah, so it's exciting for me to be finally back behind the mic. It's been a while. It seems like it's been a while, so I'm happy to be back home in the city of San Antonio, my hometown. I've been out in the desert with 116 degree weather. It's been brutal out in the desert. I would take 100 any day. Besides that 116, man, that takes a lot out of you, especially if you start early and you're like, let me go in head first and just start drinking and enjoying some beverages while you're in Sin City, right? Let's get the party started. And I tried that, and it takes you down pretty quick. It kind of puts you in your place because, man, the desert will put you in your place pretty quick. Even though you're used to this South Texas weather, right? You're 100, 103, 104. Try one like 116. That will kick your butt. I know it did me. I felt it. So I would have to drink an alcohol beverage and then have some H2O. And kind of switch on and off, and it's like, this isn't working. But I made the best of it. It was a really good trip that I took on, but I want to talk about how it all started. Because it was crazy how everything started. I flew out of Austin, which was, I had to get up and drive up to Austin early because I wanted to be out of Texas pretty early. Just get it done, right? Before everybody wakes up. Try to get the first flight out. And it didn't work out that way. It was a weird morning because everything was kind of falling in line, right? You get ready, you're hyped up, and you're ready to take your flight, and you got your stuff, and like, I hope I didn't forget anything. You're like, okay. You're trying to set your goals and just trying to stay focused, right? Because you're getting on a plane to go somewhere, and I hadn't done it in a while, so I had to kind of figure things out again and kind of get used to the pace of traveling, right? Because you got to move pretty quick. If not, you're going to get trampled. Anyway, so, I checked through and I got through security and all that. Normally, I have a hard time getting through security because I did it for years, traveling with a group of people that I worked with in local radio here in San Antonio. And they always made fun of me because they're like, don't get behind Johnny, man, because it would take you a while before to get through security because the dude has like jewelry and he's got cameras, he's got phones, he's got external drives, he's got iPods, he's got this, he's got that, he's got cords, everything. And then they're like, you got to take everything off. Okay, let me take the jewelry off. Let me take the earrings, everything. It's got to start from head to toe. So I just want to address something really quick. My throat, since I got back from my trip, my throat has really been a little raspy. been bugging me, but I tested myself and I came out negative, which was good. That was the first thing I wanted to do, is test myself and make sure I didn't have COVID. Because I've been reading people that I follow on social media who've traveled to other cities and came back with COVID. I feel bad for you guys. Get better, get some rest, and I wish you well. I want to get back to the beginning of the trip. So I'll digress for a second, because I'll tend to, I've always warned you guys, when I do these things, I have so much, I don't write anything down, or I just tried to, right off the top of my head, I just kind of tried to put everything out there and be pure with you guys, right? Like I'm hanging out with you and we're chatting about something. That's why I try to make this podcast. Like you and I, good friends, followers, subscribers, whatever we are, whatever cross we pass, you know, I'm kind of chatting with you and telling you what I did over the weekend or over the week. That's why I want to make it seem. So if I tend to lose you at some point, you know, just bear with me. I'll get back to that point. So the people that have been following me before, they know that, because I've already warned them. Because I'll go off and I'll start on a tangent now, and I will go off and then like, whoa, wait a minute. I was trying to make a point about this. Now, let me reel myself in and kind of reset, right, on what I was doing, right? So I wanted to be the first flight out of Austin. And so I get there, go through security, and like I was saying, you know, you don't want to get behind me when when we're going through the TSA lines, because they're going to fuck with me. They see the long hair, they see all the jewelry and all that shit, and they're like, this dude is trouble, let's stop him. And sure enough, you know, going through security, they're like, yeah, I was like, okay, I was prepared. And to my surprise, the lady was like, you don't have to take, I was like, do I have to take my my watch off or anything? And she's like, no, you're good. Go ahead, you're good. It's like, whoa, because normally you have to take your iPad out and your speaker or your cameras. And she's like, no, leave it there, everything in the bag, and just move. I was like, wow, this is great. So I got through security. Everything was good, and it was good to get through and not be hassled, right? So I get through security, put my stuff on, whatever, and then head to my terminal. Sitting there, I had stopped at Buc-ee's and got some jerky and some other treats, you know, to put in my bag so I can have something to snack on, right? Some protein and stuff like that. And so I'm sitting there just minding my own business, just hanging out and just doing what I do, just trying to stay out of the way. I don't want any trouble. I don't want to answer any of your questions. I don't care where you're going. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care who you are. I'm just trying to get to my destination. So just leave me alone and let's, you know, kind of just look at each other and just nod like, hi, how are you? And that's it. I don't even want to say anything to you. I'm just trying. I put my barriers up pretty quick, because you got people at airports. Well, this is my personal experience. You got people at the airport to start asking you questions. Hey, like, are you this? Are you that? What do you do? No. Where are you going? Like, really? Like, I don't want to tell you where I'm going, and I don't want to be the main focus here. So that's why I tried to get away from all that, right? So anyway, I'm sitting there, and I'm leaving on an early flight. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be here at this time. It's way early. I can't even check in until like 3:00 or whatever. And so I'm already like trying to plan out my day. I'm going to get there early. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go eat, hang out, get a couple of drinks, and walk around and go visit some spots that I like, right? And then by that time, and go gamble a little bit. You know, my room will be ready. Anyway, so that's what's going on in my head, right? I'm thinking, you know, that's what I'm going to do. I'm ready. I'm prepared. And all of a sudden, I got a couple of minutes before the plane starts to board, right? And boom, out go the lights. And I'm like shocked. I'm in pitch black, darkness, and I'm going, oh no, like what is going on? What just happened? Like really? And everybody's quiet. Nobody's saying much. Everybody's kind of just looking around going, okay, when are the lights coming back on? And you see the people at the airport in Austin kind of scrambled, and they got walkie-talkies. And so me, the type of person that I am, I'm just not going to sit there and be like looking for something. I pull out the camera and I start videotaping and start tweeting at Austin airport, blah, blah, blah. No lights, power outage. And within seconds, I start getting hit by all kinds of news media all over the country saying, hey, can we use your video? Can you sign this form? Da da la la. I'm like, whoa, okay. I knew I was going to get that reaction because everybody's just sitting there. Nobody's moving or doing anything. But I'm looking around. I'm like, the producer in me kicks in. I'm like, I got to get all this. I got to get this. I got to see what's going on. Twitter, no internet. Figure it out. Hotspot, blah, 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 blah. Go. I see traffic is building up. The cops are blocking off the airport. It's just chaos going on outside of the Austin airport. And I'm going, okay, should I panic yet? What the F is going on? Right? So I'm not seeing any initial danger that I had to panic or anything and tell everybody, hey, there's something going on. Or I didn't do that because I was kind of just looking and just my mind is just kind of racing, going, okay, get it. Whatever is out there, start filming. And, let's figure out where we're at, what's going on, and why do we not have power? And time is just going and ticking. And I'm like, just trying to see what's trending. And sure enough, I have somebody hit me up. From, I think, was it the Business Insider. And the producer hits me up. Hey, can I use your video? Because I was putting out video and pictures. Yeah, go ahead, use it. She says, I'll give you all the credit. I'm like, just do it. Get it out there. She's like, I'm going to do it here. This is where it's going to be at. The Business Journal Insider has like 3.9 million people following them. So I'm like, wow, this is great. Like, this is awesome. This helps me out. And I'm also helping everybody out, get informed and see what's going on. Because people are like me who are in the media business and have been, this is what you do, right? But now in 2020, the video is king. The best video and anything you have when something's going down, you want to get it because that right there will get everybody informed on what's happening around us. It was really cool. It was, I'm just glad and happy that I think something, I don't know, they were talking about power grids and all sorts of things. And I was led into these huge rabbit holes because of my pictures and videos were trending. So I got put all over the place. And there was another big name in that airport, right? They were experiencing the same thing that I was at the same time. And this person has a famous father that's gone now. He's a legend. And he was tweeting out about that, and I was like, I totally agree with you. This, and he was talking about the power grid and kind of directing it at Abbott. And I was like, I agree, blah, 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 blah. It sucks. And I just tweeted back at him. And that tweet just kind of just blew up. It was all over the map. And I was like, whoa, no, I didn't intend for that. I wasn't thinking because I was, kind of like, hey, yeah, I'm going through the same thing. I'm sorry. You're 2 hours in and we're in the dark, and the thing that sucked too is not only were you in the dark, right? But they had like 2-3 terminals down to the right side of me. There was a fire alarm that was constantly just like going off. And I felt so bad for those people at that terminal because that thing is just like beeping and just going off. It's loud. So I put my earpieces in. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to try to keep calm. Sip on my drink and just try to be calm and get the info that I need and get out of this airport pretty quick. Well, I think 2.5 hours later, things start kind of moving along, but in that process, like being in the dark, it kind of took me back a little bit. And I know this is kind of extreme, but to me, it took me back and being in the dark when it snowed here in San Antonio. Being in the dark for like 4 days with no electricity, no power, in the dark, living by candlelight with no heat, it was horrible. But it just kind of took me back there a little bit because I'm like, man, it's dark. I can't leave because there's security. There's people trying to get in here. And I'm stuck in here. I'm literally stuck inside this airport. And that fact was like really just kind of bugging me, but I was trying not to like panic about it because I knew nothing bad was going on, but still it's like, when are you going to turn the power back on? When are you going to stop these alarms? What, somebody say something. And not only that, so people got to know their etiquette, right? When you're sitting in a dark, quiet room in 2020, right? Everybody has their Apple iPods or earpods or whatever you call them, your headphones or whatever you do. Everyone is doing that, right? Because you take your calls that way. And we just do that. We watch our videos and that's the way we do things. We have our earpieces on, we walk around with them. That's a normal thing, right? Right? Am I right or wrong? Because there was this lady sitting like, and this was crazy too, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm going to sit in this corner way over here where I can plug in. And I don't want to be by anybody. I just want to like have my own little corner and just be left alone, right? And I was, away from kind of everybody. Well, this lady persists to sit by me, like 3 seats away from me, and kind of just looks over, and she's an older lady. And she's kind of just like grinning at me, and I'm like, whatever, just fuck off, whatever, I don't give a shit. So she like starts to put in anyway, the blackout was on. And she persists to put these videos on and not just put them on. I mean, with the volume on loud with a bad speaker, right? I don't know what the videos were about, but they were loud and obnoxious. I mean, it was horrible. I was very close to telling her, please do us all a favor, ma'am.
Shut up.
And turn that down a little bit or put some earbuds on. I was going to be that guy. I didn't want to be the Karen or anything, but
you're nuts. You're all nuts.
I don't know what the male version of it is because I didn't want to be that person, right? Because I respect their space. I respect what we're all about. Like everybody has their own little lanes that they stay in.
My God.
And that's where I was. That's why I'm saying I was going to pick that corner over here, and that's where I'll be. That's where I'm going to hang. I don't want anybody to come say hi or how are you doing? Or I don't mean to be rude. I don't want to be bugged.
You stupid jerk.
Okay. But this lady was driving me crazy. She was driving me mad.
Moron.
I wanted to say something so bad to her. And not only that, guys, like she had the worst old lady perfume on.
The government said she was a flight risk.
That early, I mean, I could taste it in my throat. It was that bad. It was horrible. It was horrible. I didn't want to, I was almost close to just getting all my stuff.
This man is totally insane.
And then going across the hall, like to where the alarms were, because I'm like, I'd rather be over there than here, because this lady was like just killing me with her videos and her perfume. Like, why couldn't you sit like over there? But you decide to sit right by me with that nasty ass perfume, old lady perfume. Oh man, it sucks so bad. It sucks so bad. But I had to keep focused because I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get here. So I'm hitting a little adversity, right? We have no power. There's nothing going on. And they had Hut's Burgers right across. So I was like, maybe they would open up. I was like, maybe they'll open up. I can walk over there and get something. What? There was no power. There was nothing. They were running a generator. Come on, Austin. You're better than that. You're better than that. You got lots of people coming through that airport. Get it together. Get it together. You have to have a backup generator. You have to. You have to be locked in, man. And I don't know the specifics behind that. Why didn't that generator kick right in? Because you would think that's what would happen, right? But an airport shut down completely. It fucked everything up for lots of people. There was people trying to get to some big destinations, and it threw their whole day off because now they're delayed, almost 3 hours. It was a disaster. It was a disaster. But and it didn't end there. It didn't end there. I got to my destination finally. And I was so happy to, because everything worked out at that time, because the time was perfect. Everything worked out. I ended up getting upgraded, and everything was cool, right? Everything that happened behind me, I was like, okay, I can kind of let it go and just kind of move forward, right? All the bad stuff, the perfume and the loud videos. I mean, those videos were horrible, guys. I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But I made it. So I always have the brown bag special, and today I'm enjoying a little bit of Belching Beaver, Phantom Bride limited edition. What is this? Hazy IPA. Very good. It's a limited edition. It's not a brown bag special that I got at my local bodega. I picked this up before I left my destination, and I just wanted to break it out tonight because I'm celebrating the fact that I'm back in the man cave and I'm back doing podcast, and it feels good. So here's to you guys and to me. Everything is aligned, and we're back. We're back doing podcast. I apologize for being away and leaving you guys for a little bit, but I had to do this. Sometimes you got to go out in the field and report and do things. And that's what I was doing. I was trying to go out there for you guys and get the best content and news-worthy stuff that I could bring back. And we can discuss, because I was running out of stuff here, because there's really not much going on. And I heard Bad Bunny was in San Antonio. He was trending, and he was here, he was there, he was at the market. I don't know, wherever. I'm not a Bad Bunny fan. Not dissing him. I'm just not. That's not my thing. But that's cool that he enjoyed San Antonio. I saw when I was at Allegiant Stadium for the stadium tour, I saw the billboard for Bad Bunny. I think he's up there this weekend. So, yeah. And I'm sure that's going to be a party. I'm sure that's going to be a big party in Sin City. But man, oh man, do I got some good stuff to report about the stadium tour that I attended. The last show of the stadium tour in Las Vegas. Man, it was so much fun. I had a way better experience than I did here in my hometown of San Antonio. And it's sad to say because Allegiant Stadium is no comparison to the Alamo Dome. There was 70,000 at the Allegiant Stadium. And I tell you this, I'm going to just put it to you this way. Okay. I didn't have to walk, 2 feet before I got asked if I wanted a cold beer. And they had guys and girls out there who were walking around with these things filled up with 24-ounce beers, ice cold, and ready to take your money. And it was such a good feeling because I didn't have to wait 45 minutes in line for somebody to get a Michelob Ultra Light or a Dos Equis and pour it into a cup and charge me all the money they did here in San Antonio. It was a way better experience. There was good food to eat. It was those things. That stadium tour is it's a marathon, so you got to be prepared. It starts early and it ends late, so you got to be prepared, especially in the desert. Believe me, I hit the Pedialyte, I hit the Gatorade, I hit the water, the H2O, and I hit the tequila, and I hit the Jack, and I hit the vodka, I hit the gin, and a lot of different good beers along the way. So wow, it was a lot of fun. Very, very memorable summer tour for the stadium tour. I think, to me personally, it was a success. I think it was a success. Looking at it and keeping up with it since it started. I did the first a podcast. If you go back on my podcast on Inside the ManCave podcast show, go back and see the reviews when it started, because I was putting video out there of the stadium tour when it started. So go back and watch that, and then come back and check out the review I do for the final show that I was there. It was great. The venue, the stadium was just powerful. The music was loud. It was good to hear Joan Jett kind of do her thing. Joan, she delivers. And I had mentioned to a few of my friends, said, you know what, what is Joan doing when this first got announced? What is Joan doing on this bill? Because you could put in an LA Guns, you could put in a Faster Pussycat, name some of those bands that are still out there that are, they're not up there with Poison, they're not up there with Def Leppard nor Motley Crue, but they can open up and get the crowd going. But I spoke out of line, and I kind of dissed Joan Jett because I was like, what is she doing in the line? And I shouldn't have, because she delivered. She sounds great. She sounded great, and she looks good. I was so happy that she was part of this lineup. And when it continues in Europe, because this tour is going to continue into Europe, Motley Crue and Def Leppard are kind of going out and saying already, hey, we're going to keep doing this. And I kind of figured that. I'm like, this isn't over. The success of it, if you take it to Europe and open it up, I'm sure that they'll have the same results, probably even much better, right? But who knows? Look what happened in the States. A success. Really good summer tour for Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, and Joan Jett. Overall, I praise Joan that she went out. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts came out and rocked. And that's what she did, man. She came out there, hit after hit. Cherry Bomb. Just on down the line. She brought it. And there was an opener as well. And I really don't know who they are. I didn't really, You know, when they came to town, I didn't show up early enough, but I wanted to be there for Joan, and I did twice. That's when the day started for me. But it was kind of weird out there because when Joan Jett was on in that Allegiant, they had the way the stadium set up. It's kind of like, it's still like daylight, so it had that vibe. At the Dome when I walked in for Joan Jett. It was dark and it was, just a different vibe. But at Vegas, it was day because of the roof. But man, it was awesome. I really enjoyed watching Joan Jett. I hope that if this continues, that they keep the same lineup, because I think the people up in Europe would really appreciate some Joan Jett, Poison, Def Leppard, and Motley Crue. Because, you did have a lot of the critics come out and talk about Vince and this and that and Tommy. And, I talk about the trends, man. And my last few podcasts have been a lot about Motley, a lot about, this stadium tour. And now it's over, and I'm going to bring you everything that I had, everything that I've heard. And then move on, come on and move on with something new that's going on. There's a lot of stuff going on in the music world. A lot of good topics that I'll bring up and I'll tweet about, and I'll talk about and tell you my opinion about how these tours are doing, how they're doing, and how some bands. Well, I'll say who it is. Ghost BC, I think it is. Not a huge fan. I've heard their music. Okay, I'm good. But the lead singer of Ghost BC, Ghost, he's saying that too many bands are touring, and it's hurting everybody. I'm like, okay, living in San Antonio, I don't get it. I don't get what you're saying, because we're not getting any of that. We're not getting all the big tours. Like Iron Maiden was playing tonight in Austin at the Moody place up in Austin. And I don't think they're going to stop in San Antonio. I got to check that, because I know people that were up there tonight seeing Iron Maiden. I don't know. I'll have to check. But, it's crazy that the singer of Ghost is saying, too many bands are touring at the same time. Like, okay, I don't see that. What are you saying? Stop. You see big tours coming out during the summer. The Rolling Stones. I was able to go to that. That was a huge draw in Austin. And in San Antonio as well, when you had the Motley tour here a few weeks back, they had a huge draw at the Alamo Dome, right? If you were there, you saw that. This wasn't set up right for San Antonio. And I heard that there was, I heard some rumblings about, the concession problem at the Alamo Dome. I heard that. I heard a lot of people griping about that during the UTSA game. And then, I think about that, and I mentioned the fact that you want to put 65,000 in there for the San Antonio Spurs NBA game to break a regular season record. And I'm like, okay, now you are reaching a little bit. I think it's a crazy, crazy idea, but who knows? I don't know. Will you show up? I don't know. Tweet at me at Johnny Compian and tell me. Let me know. Would you pay? Because they released like a few hundred tickets. The Spurs released a few tickets for like $20, I think, or $10. And those went pretty quick. You know, people kind of went out there and like, yeah, you know what? We want these tickets. Nosebleeds. $10. It's still going to cost you more to park. It's still going to cost you more to buy the stale nachos and the oh no, you're going to get bottled beer in a cup. Unless they bring in all the cool shit for the Spurs and open up Whataburger, which I doubt. Yeah. Anyway, see what I mean? I digress a little bit about that because it takes me on a tangent about stadiums and Anyway, I want to get back to the stadium tour. Like I was saying before I got pulled in and went off on this tangent about the experience I had at the Allegiant Stadium. It was so much better in Las Vegas. No beer lines, no restroom lines. And the food was, I mean, you had a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I mean, you could take breaks and eat some good food. And enjoy yourself. Have some cocktails and have some more beers. Have some H2O. And watch the show. It was a great experience. Like I was saying, Joan Jett was great. Came out with all her hits and just brought it. Just like she did when I saw her, and all the video that the video that I had seen from the beginning of this stadium tour, Joan Jett brought it. And so did Poison. You know, Poison came on, and Poison gets a lot of flack. Poison and Bret Michaels, they regrouped for this. It was like a reunion for them because Bret is out doing his own thing and he tours on his own. But it was good to see Poison together again, seeing them back in the day, you know, when they were very popular and hitting with all their songs. I got to see them a couple times. And they're fun, but now the energy that Bret Michaels brings, you know, that's always cool to experience, especially in a big setting. Bret and the guys were so fired up to play for 70,000. And the night before and the night before that, I mean, it was like, I think it took them back. Like, man, you know what? People are really digging this. I'm feeling it. It's taking me back. This is nostalgic. You know, that's all I heard. You know, people really enjoyed just like being a part of this stadium tour. And that's why I was so fired up and just happy to be a part of it and being able to do that because, you know, people are like, you know what, Motley can't do it. You know, Def Leppard can hold their own. Def Leppard can hold their own. You know, but Bret Michaels, Poison, Bobby Dow, Ricky Rocket, they brought it, man. It was so good. It made you feel good. It made you feel so good to be a part of that night. You know, hit after hit. It started with Joan leading hit after hit, into Poison, hit after hit, into Def Leppard, hit after hit, after hit, after hit. You know, I mean, it was nonstop. Motley Crue, hit after hit, after hit, I mean, it was exhausting. At the end of the night, like, man, okay, I did it. After everything you went through, and you sit back and you're like, wow, the stadium tour's over, and it was a great experience. And, you know, Motley came out, and it was a great build-up. When they came out, the energy was high. Everybody was waiting. A lot of Motley Crue fans in Vegas. Everybody had their Motley gear on, and that stadium, you know, walking around, looking, and everybody has their old school, the new school. It's cool to see. You know, it's cool to see that it's still alive, and it feels good, and people are still partaking in this. You know, especially like you see it in your own city where people just love Motley Crue. They won't talk about it. They won't say, I mean, these are, to me, they're closet fans. Because you don't see it a lot, right? I mean, it's like, yeah, you hear about this, you hear about sex videos, you hear about car wrecks, you hear about overdose, you hear about all the crazy things that this band is like a part of that they've been through. And people are like, yeah. But then they come to your town, and like I always tell you, when I told you before, hide your girlfriend, hide your wife, hide whoever, because they're coming to town and people get crazy. People start drinking. There was people at one of the cities where somebody jumped off one of the balconies. I don't know if it was an accident and people do crazy things at these concerts, and it's expected. They're the bad boys of rock and roll. Yeah, they're all up there in age. And I give him crap because when Tommy Lee pulled out his penis a while back, I was on him. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You're like Keith Richards. You know, stop. Nobody wants to see that. Well, obviously, I mean, he keeps talking about it and doing that and on. It's kind of his deal that when he has his time, he's like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm Tommy fucking Lee, and that's it. That's what I'm going to do. And some people are not down with it. I get it. I see where your concerns are, because there is young ladies and young kids in the crowd, because you know, there's mom and dads who really love this music, and they bring their kids, and they're like, hey, let's go see Motley Crue tonight, kids. What about, because we want to go and drink wine and hang out. Are you guys okay with seeing girls? And they're like, yeah, okay, whatever, mom, let's just go. And then all of a sudden, things start to go down. You're at the Motley Crue concert, and Tommy's asking the men in the crowd to take out their penises and show them up. What do you do as a parent? And you're taking your kids and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, being to a few Motley Crue shows, Tommy always had the titty cam. He would bring the titty cam on, and he's like, break them out. Come on, girls, break them out, and there you went. That's where you saw it all. It's like every female in the first couple rows are going to break them out. That's what happens at a Motley Crue concert. So I bring up the name Juan Alvarez. Juan Alvarez. Dude, I didn't get any chance to do any research on you, but I will. I want to see what you're about, because you need to go away. You need to go away, please. Go away, Juan. Go away. You know, you make a big deal about, what are you doing at a Motley Crue concert? What are you doing there? What are you doing there? If you're making this much of a big deal, what are you doing there? If you're a fan of Motley Crue and you've been there before, what's the problem with you, Juan Alvarez? What's the problem, man? What's the problem? He starts to report to a local news affiliate. I think it's in San Francisco, and he's saying that, you know, there was kids in there and they were traumatized. And you know what? In Vegas, I saw the same thing go down. On the last show of the tour, Tommy did the same bit. And there was some stupid idiots. I'm going to say it. Stupid idiots who were drunk enough to go out there and pull their fucking pants down and pull out their penises. Like, who does that? Who in their fucking right mind will go out there and pull your fucking penis out. And I told you guys, if you're going to do this, if you're going to step up to the fucking plate and do this, you got to be ready. You got to be ready. Remember that. You got to be ready, and you weren't. You were not ready for the moment. You were not ready for the moment. You were not ready. You were not ready for the moment, and you look like a jackass. Yeah. You were on the Jumbotron, a big fat white guy, and he persists to pull his pants down and has his little penis on this Jumbotron, and the Jumbotron was massive, but you could barely see anything on this white fat guy who was so inebriated, but thought it was entertaining that everybody's kind of just like, ooh, dude. And Tommy was getting a kick out of it. Dude, you're stupid enough to do it. Yeah, you're going to go to jail, whatever. But why would you do that? Another guy did the same thing. Another fat white guy doing the same thing. I was just like, oh, put the titties back. There was some nice tits in the crowd. Put it back on that. Please don't put that up. Please do those guys a favor and take that camera off those fat white guys. It was a few. Nobody in their right mind. Yeah, I talked about it in San Diego. I was joking. I would never do that. If I was gonna do that, I'd have to be inebriated like these idiots. But I was in control, and like I said, you gotta be prepared for the moment. And those guys were not. They look very bad. You should be ashamed of yourself, you idiots. You guys are idiots. And who gets the last laugh? Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee just is like, dude, I got you controlled. Pull your fucking pants down and do whatever. And these drunk idiots did it. Shame on you guys. Anyway, back to Alvarez. He ended up, going on news, and Tommy Lee got wind of this. And then Tommy ended up going on Twitter, and he had some audio reaction to that fan outrage. And he says, yo, Juan, I got a question for you. What do you expect to see at a Motley Crue concert, dude? We've been doing this for fucking ever. Jesus Christ, you fucking pussy. I think it's hilarious. And they want to file a charge. He wants to file a charge. Is doing the. It's a mess. I will keep my ears open and see where this goes, because I think it's very interesting on what's going on with this, to see if anybody does anything. If the local city people there are going to move forward on that. Right? Yeah. What a shame. What a shame, you idiots. God, you guys are idiots. I also want to bring up, because I was able to watch the NFL kickoff on Thursday, right before the mayhem of the Motley Crue started. And I'm a huge NFL fan, so I was able to be in Vegas to watch some NFL football, which was fun. I mean, that's one thing you want to do. You either want to be there for the Super Bowl or NFL kickoff, or for NFL Sunday. Now that they got an NFL team, man, their stadium looks fun. It's just getting there. You got to walk over this bridge, and they got these watering stations. It's just bad. It's just bad. And you try to get those little guys on those bicycles to wheel you over, and they're not allowed to go over the bridge. They charge you like $45, I think. And they'll take you all the way around. It's like, okay. Anyway, that's all messed up. But I want to get back to this because I was there for the kickoff on Thursday night, and I was kind of hyped up because I had heard that they were going to have Ozzy Osbourne at the halftime show for the Bills and the Rams. And I was like, this is good. That's pretty cool that they're doing that. I want to see Ozzy. I've been excited. Well, I mean, I've talked about Ozzy on this podcast. You know, it was great to see him a while back. I posted the video. Go check it out on my Twitter page. And, you know, on these videos on Inside the ManCave podcast show. Go back and check out the video of when he made his comeback. It was right after Comic-Con. But Ozzy came out and they started promoting the hell out of it. You give it its proper time. What happened with the Ozzy thing? What was so bad about what Ozzy was going to bring to the table? Yeah, Ozzy's not who he was 10 years ago, but he's still going to come out and perform. Please give him that time. Why wouldn't you? What happened there? I want to hear more about this. That was very, very upsetting to hear. One thing that I learned about going on this trip, one thing that I've learned and I saw was watching the stadium tour, the success that it brought throughout every city that it stopped at, and you heard it from the bands, individual band members from every single, except from Joan. I didn't hear anything from their camp, but you heard how much they were enjoying themselves, the experience, and everything that came along with that. These guys were very excited to be a part of it. They were so thankful, from Bret Michaels to the guys in Def Leppard, Joe Elliott, Phil Collins, Rick Savage. Those guys were on video, on YouTube, all over YouTube, just thanking the fan base. And at the leading up to the last night of the stadium tour, Motley Crue came out. On the last show, Nikki was so thankful, you know, to the bandmates and to the other bands that were on the bill, and everybody that worked behind the scenes, the video guys, the catering guys, everybody. I mean, they were so excited about this because it was such a success. Everything sold out. All their merch sold out. Their posters, everything leading along sold out. It was a success. Everybody had a good time from start to finish. Everybody had a great time. It was unbelievable. It was so good to be part of this. I was excited to be a part of this stadium tour, and I'm glad I went to the final show. And it felt good. Like I said, it felt good. I didn't feel like I was out of place. I made some good friends. I met a lot of people. I met people from South Dakota. I met people from LA. I met people from New Mexico. I met a few people from New Mexico. And people were so courteous, came up and said hi, introduced themselves, and we shared stories about our favorite bands. We can't wait to see this. It was really good. Just a really good vibe for the stadium tour. Really good vibe. And you know what it showed me? I want to get to my point because it's very important. It's very, very important for this to be out there. To me, this shows that rock and roll music is alive and well, because things changed for us. You know, almost going on 3 years, things changed for us and things didn't feel right. We were in a place in our lifetime where we had never had change and adjustments, and we lost a lot of people along the way. Life for a lot of people changed. I get that. I see that. It's heartbreaking. It wasn't a good place to be in. A good time in our lives that we go through. It wasn't good. But after this experience and seeing, these bands perform, it kind of put everything in line for me. It was really good and it felt good. I'm so glad that I experienced what I did, the people that I met along the way, the fun, everything that was I was a part of was just fun. It was just great time. And I love rock and roll music. It's really close to my heart. I love it. It would always be a part of me. As long as I'm here on this earth, I'm always going to come out and I'm going to tell you how much I love it, how much I appreciate it, and the experiences that I went through. And this is one of them right here. This one moves way up on top of my list. I've been able to do some cool stuff in my lifetime. And this was one of them. This right here really was eye-opening for me. And it showed me that, music is a powerful thing. And it brings us together. It brings us together. And it shows, like I said, rock and roll music is still alive. It's alive. It's alive, man. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Take it the way you want. I'm not going to tell you how to take your music or whatever you like. I'm just saying, enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy it. I appreciate you guys coming on, giving me the time to talk about my experiences and to share the good times and everything that I go through, and the patience you have with me, because I try to be consistent. And when I have to go out on the field and go do what I got to do, you got to be, excuse me for a little bit because I'll be out. But I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for being patient and for believing in me. My 32 followers, I appreciate you guys following me. The goal is 50. Let's get to 50. Maybe we could do this live somewhere. I can have a place where we can all meet and I can do this live and we can bring people on the mic and we can share a moment together and play some music and have fun and talk about the concerts we've been to and the experiences that we've gone through. Because I saw a lot of people who traveled from all over the world to go see this stadium tour. Nikki Sixx talked about people coming in from Australia, people coming in from Japan. And it was like, man, that just was like, wow, that's awesome. It's alive, man. Music is alive. Enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I will see you guys soon on the next podcast.
Tweet at me at Johnny Compian on Twitter. And you can also support the podcast show on anchor.fm/Johnny5150.